Okay, so we've drawn one eye, and now I'm going to start drawing a second eye. Now, when you're drawing a pair of eyes, you want to make sure that there's a space between the eyes that's about equal to the length of an eye. So you can actually measure it. There's different tools you can use, like rulers. This eraser, if I go from the edge of the eraser to the inside of the eye, it goes to about there. So I'm just going to use that. You can really use anything, but let's say, so that's about where I want to start my right eye. And looking at it, there's a big space, and it might look weird right now. And it might look weird when I'm done too. But let's just see what happens. So I'm going to try to make sure these are lined up properly, evenly. I'm kind of looking at a side view as I record, so I might be a little bit off. The other thing that's funny about eyes is when you draw a pair of eyes, sometimes one eye, actually when you look at a pair of eyes, a real pair of eyes, often one of the eyes is a little bit more open than the other. So when you draw them, it's okay if that happens, because it's actually often the way it is in nature. So, trying to, not sure if I'm doing that quite right, but that'll work for now. Okay, now I need to get my upper eyelid again. So I'm kind of drawing these pretty symmetrical. The eye on the right is about the same size as the eye on the left. And there's things I could do to this eye to add more details, but I might do that at the end. I might not. We'll just have to see. So let's see. We'll put I'm trying this light enough so I can erase it, because sometimes when I draw eyes, I make one of the irises bigger than the other, and that's something I don't think that is very common in nature. So this eye is the length of from the tip to there, plus a little bit more. So I have a feeling that this one I made it a little bit too long. Yeah, it's too long. I already kind of knew that, but I was trying to measure it. I think I'll pull it toward the right a little bit. And you don't have to get everything perfect, but there's certain things, especially when you're drawing eyes, that if you mess them up, it makes the whole drawing look obviously weird or wrong. And the size of the irises is one of those things. So I want to fix that. You should always draw light when you're first drawing anything, because if you draw it too dark, it's very hard to come back and fix it. And like, I want to change the shape on this one right now, make it match that a little bit better, and maybe even bring that up a little bit. That'll be fine, I think. And I want to make sure I put a reflection on this one too, and I also want to remember the top part of the iris is up there. So my pupil's gonna feel like it's sitting a little bit high, maybe. I'll do a similar reflection to what I did on this one. It'll be up here, kind of go over there. Something like that. I'm going to go ahead and darken the pupil somewhat. And then I'll start to pull the spokes in and out the spokes of the wheel of the iris. The iris is the word for the color part of your eye. Whether your eyes are brown or green or blue or gray or yellow. But, you know, one thing we all have in common is our pupils are all black. Every human being has the same color pupils. Now, you see how I made this pupil a little bit bigger than that one? I don't want to change it because I don't want to make this one bigger because I like how that eye looks. But I'm also looking and I think maybe I still have this iris too big, so I should be careful and not make that too dark because I might want to come back and erase it again. But like I said before, I'm drawing this at kind of a funny angle so I can record it. So I'm not certain that I don't really trust my point of view right now all that much. So it's going to be a little darker again on the top because of shadows coming down from the upper eyelid and from the eyelashes. Go ahead and put the shadow over there. 2. And then again, I want to leave some areas where light is showing through. So I don't want to fill up the eye completely with spokes. I think I can erase the edge a little bit without making it look too smudgy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna be glad I did that. Same thing over here. Bring that in a little bit. All right, so a little shadow, a little shading in the corner of the eye where it goes into the eye socket. And on the top. Well, maybe this eye is exposed to more light, and that's why this pupil's a little bigger than that. That does happen sometimes. So I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it. Okay, lower eyelid shelf. And this eye is a little more open than that one, the way I've drawn it. I'll raise that up a little bit. Do the same thing on this side, maybe, I don't know. All right, so now I'm gonna start to put eyelashes. So eyelashes come off of the upper eyelid, down and up. It's a down and up. It's like a U, kind of like that. And the middle ones are really coming forward more. You don't necessarily see, you know, the length as much because they're coming forward. Sometimes they'll droop more. And then they start to curve in the other direction. So below the eyelid, they go down and then they come up. So that's what I'm trying to show. Then the lower ones go up and then down. So they're upside down U, up and down. As they move this way, they start to go the other direction. So I'm going to come in over here and start from there. They're not always spaced evenly. Some of them go in a different direction. Sometimes they'll be like back and forth like that. And sometimes they're just like a little dot. And then you don't even see the whole eyelash. Okay, so there's a pair of eyes. I'll come back on another video for the next eye.